Welcome to Mr. Holloway's Foundational Java Skills series. In this video, we're going to talk about the this keyword. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And class is now in session. Okay, in the previous videos, and just remember that this is kind of like a little mini series on classes. So if you don't know what a class is, we can go back 2 videos. I'll put the link in the comments to show both videos that came before this. But basically, we went over the attributes of this class. We went over how to create a constructor. And in this case, we have 2 constructors. So here's one, here's another constructor. The difference between these two is that this one, when you create a circle, this one requires 3 parameters. And this one doesn't require any. Come back on this side. When we create this first circle, this calls this new keyword. So this new circle calls the first constructor, calls this, and this circle created is printed out to the output screen. And then this is a second object, which is circle number 2. And in order for us to be able to create this, we have to put in 3 arguments. These are what we call arguments on this side. They're parameters on this side. And I talked about how those words are used interchangeably, but the official correct way of naming these is basically arguments and parameters. So when we create these, we basically get this output. And there it is. All right. Now, what I wanted to talk briefly about in this video is the this keyword. So we're going to talk about this, and just to give you an idea of what we're going to talk about in the next couple of videos is going to be the this keyword. Then we're going to talk about just methods in general. We're going to talk about getters and setters and static methods. And there's a few other things that I haven't thought about yet, but I know there's a couple things we're going to talk about more in terms of classes. So let's go ahead and dive right into the new stuff. So I wanted to talk about the this keyword, and it's in regards to this bit of code here. Now, technically, as I explained in the previous videos, this is okay. This works. But from a matter of style, this is not the way that people would generally want to write this piece of code. Okay, so generally, you just want to do size. Okay, but notice when I put size here, and you're going to see this oftentimes, you'll see size, and that can be confusing. And this actually would work. So if I were to just run this should work. It should work. Let's see. Yeah. So everything works fine, but it can be confusing. And so I just, when introducing the parameters, I just did a little underscore. Some people do that. In other languages, it can be done. But in Java, we're going to talk about the this keyword. All right. So this is kind of hard to explain sometimes, because in order to explain something, you have to use the keyword this. And so there's a little bit of confusion about how to explain it and what is this. And you'll see why in a second. All right. Now, hopefully will be able to explain this really simply. All right. So these are variables. They're also known as attributes, and they belong to an instance. So every time we create an instance of the circle, it belongs to that particular instance. Okay. So we generally can say, instead of saying size, I'm going to get rid of that size right now. I'm just going to make this size. Okay, so that we have some consistency with the assignment of the attributes. So what I mean by that is I'm going to put this dot size. Okay, so this dot size is equal to size. Now, what is the difference? Which one is which? So is this size this, or does it refer to this? Well, actually really simple. So the this dot size, anything with this always refers back to these attributes. So whenever you see the word this, it applies to these up here. Okay, so the what we call the instance variables. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just change that right now. So this dot, okay, and then we can get rid of this. And again, like I said, it is perfectly okay to do it the way we did it, but stylistically, that is not the way that it's suggested in typical Java. And so in this case, now we have this dot size is equal to size. So what we're saying is that this up here, and notice I have to keep using this, and the question is, what am I referring to? So this dot size is actually in reference to this attribute variable, and size is in reference to this. So these two are the same thing. This is the same thing as this here. This is the same thing as this. So these parameters are what we refer to when we're assigning the values. So this dot circle, well, this is this circle. All right. And for good measure, I'm just going to change these right now, because the size that we're referring to is the size and the radius that are coming from the instance variables and not the parameters. So we're going to go ahead and run that, and everything runs the same. We don't have any issues. And so that is pretty much the this keyword. I'm going to keep this like this, and as we go and create more classes, we're going to use this a lot. Okay, and I wanted to point that out because I know it can be very confusing when someone doesn't explain this correctly, in particular where they will just write this as well as this, and you don't know which variable is being referred to. And so the this keyword hopefully just got a little bit easier for you. All right, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video where we're going to talk about methods.